All right, welcome into another edition of Cash and Tickets, brought to you by Poolside Bets. Glad to be back. My name, part of Poolside Bets, I am Franklin Johnson, and that is my esteemed partner, Paul Robertson, sitting to my left. Of course, it looks like it's right on your screen, but we're both here, finally back. Last time we recorded, Paul, was June 14th, before the U.S. Open, the golf tournament. So it's been a little while.
Did we get the winner of that?
I doubt it. Right. That was Wyndham Clark. I don't think either one of us would.
Right, I didn't even speak his name.
We're picking that name out of the hat. So, yeah, so good to be back. Football season's around the corner, so it's time for us to get back going. You can find us on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. Well, X. So I'll put if you'll notice on the screen there, I got the X logo up there instead of the little Twitter bird. So I don't know if we still call it. I'm not sure what to call it. Since it's been, we got a new logo, so
X gonna give it to you.
X gonna give it to you, and we gonna give it to you here. And there goes Paul. He's back. And you got to hit the little button to. He's already mad at his camera anyway. Anyway, here we are. So yeah, you'll see down there YouTube X at Poolside Bets. I think we used to tell you search for it without the S, but I think Paul got that fixed. So you can find it. So when you go to YouTube, I know a lot of people don't watch it live since it's easier for us to get it uploaded to YouTube. I'll go in live instead of recording and waiting forever for it to upload. So we just shoot them live, and it's there. But if you look for us later, when you go out to YouTube, you pull up our channel, it's not going to be under the videos. You got to click on the little live link, and then you'll see all our live videos there. So if you're having trouble finding it on YouTube, that's how you find it. Make sure you're looking under the live videos. So football coming up, we thought we would preview the Power 5 conferences. I believe we did this last year. Paul, I think we did all 5 last year and maybe touched on some other teams that we liked or looking forward to watching.
I think we did okay. I don't know. I really didn't go back and look, but I thought we did halfway okay.
Yeah, I think the only thing I remember, because, I kind of hit on it, was Texas and Kansas. So Kansas got that over easy. Texas did not get there over. So I do remember that. Anything stick out for you from last year, Paul?
Nah, just the TCU run mainly.
Boy, didn't see that coming, did we?
No. A couple good teams. Tulane was really good. Beat USC in the bowl game, which USC probably didn't want to be there, but they were there, and they lost, and Tulane come back and got them, so that was a good game.
Like I've heard plenty of times, it's a scoreboard business. And at the end of that game, Tulane had more points. So big win for the Green Wave.
Yep, they're going to be tough this year.
So like I said, we're going to preview some Power 5 conferences. Before we get to that, we'll just touch on a few other things that we're going to do this year. think we're going to still try to do some local football teams, touch on the Lee Academy Colts and the Clarksdale High School Wildcats.
Yep.
I got a new gig this year, Paul. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. I heard you.
Yeah, I had to get my feet wet, did the jamboree, so I'll be, I guess you'd call it the color guy for the Lee Academy live stream.
What could go wrong?
Absolutely nothing. I mean, I don't ever get angry at anybody or coaches or.
I mean, just the referee's best friend.
Yeah, I'll probably shake everybody's hand when it's over too.
Drink water with them.
Yeah. So I got my feet wet in that last week at the jamboree, and first real game is tomorrow night, the Napkin Bowl between Lee Academy and Pillow. So I'll be driving down to Greenwood to handle that game.
At least you got Bobby there to carry you. So
yeah, I'll let Bobby do most of the talking anyway.
yeah, you just kind of hold him still there.
I'm there. Yeah, anytime he get a little dead air, I try to just jump in there. So it's pretty easy. Bobby makes it easy. He's fun to work with. So it ought to be a lot of fun. They have a pretty decent team. A lot of guys coming back from last year. So looking forward to that. We got anything? We talked with anybody at Clarksdale High?
Yeah, briefly with Coach. They got a new coach this year. Coach Maddox has stepped down for personal reasons. Coach Curtis Kemp takes over. I'm still working on some information about that. I've only talked to him once, but he was really cool and really excited about what we do. And I sent him a couple of stuff that we did last year. I was just briefly looking at their roster. They got 2 guys that have already committed D1, and then a plethora of others going JUCO and whatever. So that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah. They were a good team last year, so looking forward to.
Yeah, their schedule. It's like the 1st of September before they start. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's right or wrong, but
there were high school games last Friday, real games.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to look again. Like I said, I just started on that today, so I'll be better next time.
Which honestly, in Mississippi, I don't understand why they start so early because it was freaking hot last Friday. Miserable hot.
Yeah.
I don't know how those kids and everybody involved. It's too hot. Can't sit in the stands. It's brutal out there.
It's bad.
All right, so that's your little Clarksdale corner. So we'll have that coming up throughout the year. This year we're gonna make sure that we keep up with our record, so you can see what we do. Again, we don't sell picks. We're just here telling you what we think and how we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do this year is we're gonna give you 5 picks for every weekend, whether that be all college football or all NFL or combination of the two. We'll give you 5 picks. I'll give my 5. Paul will give his 5. And then we'll recap it the next week, and we'll keep up with our stats and see how we do.
Yeah, don't go out there and buy picks. If you watch our show and we get on a hot run and you start winning money off the information we give you and you want to throw us a $20 bill, fine.
Yeah, but we're not asking.
Don't go pay some Louis the Lip guy $100 for 3 games, and he don't know no more than you do, so just don't do that.
That's right. Unless you're talking to what's the guy that just got out of jail and ratting on Phil Mickelson?
Oh, Billy Walters.
Billy Walters. Unless you want to call him and get
that dude had a stable of freaking statisticians and everything behind him, though.
Yeah, he had it going on right up until he went to prison. So,
well, another thing, I beat the drum last year on parlays and.
Oh, Paul, since you're about to say that, I need your dynamite 9-team spread parlay so I can get my $5 10-teamer in there.
Yeah, for week 1?
Yeah, week 1. Yeah. Week 0, if you don't mind, every game.
Yeah, I'm not going to beat this drum anymore. I really ain't. I've had probably 10 conversations with guys, and I get it that's what you like to do, and if it's your money, you do what you want to with it. I was just giving some advice or whatever, because Lord knows I've done it all in the sports betting world. But if you want to do that, and as I've been told, I'm really good at it. If you're really good at 10-teamers and parlaying them and winning and all that, then more power to you. Go get it, and good luck with your mansion and all that, because you'll be living in one if you're really good at hitting 10-team parlays.
Yeah.
It's do what you want to do. That's just not what we're gonna do. I'm okay with doing a 4-team against the spread parlay. I wouldn't go over that. I would go up to 6 teams if you cross sports parlay or throw a UFC fight or 2 UFC fighters in, or a nerfy in from baseball or a player prop or whatever. But hitting 6 against the spread is pretty difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, we typically try to. And speaking of sticking to 4-teamers, don't you? Didn't we throw around the idea of doing something for charity this year? We put our own money on it, and we'll do one. We'll make together. We'll make one pick a week, and just collect that money. And at the end of the year, we're going to give it to local charity.
yeah, we'll draw from a hat, and I mean we'll come up with something. Surely we can hit a couple of those. We might be money line parlays or whatever. I mean, but we'll see what we can do with it. And
Yeah, we discussed $25, or maybe we'll do both $25 a piece to make it a $50 parlay. But we'll come up with something. But none of this is going to start. We're not going to give you our 5 teams, and we're not going to start till week 1. We're not going to deal with week 0. We may put our picks out on the X or the Facebook. I'll just stick with Twitter. It sounds so weird to say X, but anyway, we'll let you know what we're going to do on week 0. We're just not going to start our start the 5-team capping until week 1. What do you think?
I about got my week 0 picks lined out anyway. So
Yeah, but I just for the purposes that we talked about, not enough games
to actually track the record.
Yeah. We'll start that in week 1.
So our goal, I guess, would be to see how good we do, and to do that, we got to document it, of course, and then hopefully see where we can get. 54% is considered sharp betting, I guess, because it's profitable. There's very few people in the world that can do that. So over a 16-game year, I doubt we might bet the NFL a little bit, but we probably won't include that in our percentage. I think we'll just stick with college football.
Mostly, unless it's just a weekend we see a game that says, I got to have this in my 5 because this line seems crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, mostly college football, and doubt we'll do any baseball. I know we're getting down to the postseason, but
I got a few notes from last year too. This against the spread. I think I went over this at the end of the year, but Tulane was 12-2 against the spread last year. Oregon State was 11-2. Troy was 10-3. Southern Miss was 10-3. Tennessee was 10-3, and Penn State was 9-3. So if you bet any of those teams, just blindly bet them every week, didn't even care what the spread was, you made a lot of money.
Cashed.
Yeah. On the other side of that, University of Miami was 2-10. Stanford was 2-10. Colorado 2-10. Cincinnati 3-9, and App State 3-9. App State probably killed a lot of people last year because people loved to bet them because of the history.
Yeah, but they did not have a great
They
season.
didn't have a good year. Everybody likes to pull for the underdog, so it kind of shows you if you track this stuff starting the year and you find a team that's hot and you stick with them, kind of like Coastal Carolina with Franklin. Was it last year, year before? Kansas one year.
Don't forget about the big national champ, the Joe and his Burrow and Jamar Chase.
We both made a ton of money on that.
Boy, LSU was nice to us that year.
Yeah, on the flip side of that, the over-under last year, USC was 11-3, UCLA was 10-3, Arkansas 10-3, Ohio State was 10-3 to the over. To the under, Kentucky was 12-1, Colorado State was 10-1, and Virginia was 9-2 to the under. So
yeah, I guess mostly because Virginia could not score at all.
Colorado State terrible.
Yeah,
and, Kentucky kind of surprising me because they Will Levis and whatnot. But
yeah, he did not have a good year, and I think you saw that in how the draft played out. You want to recap that draft pick you made?
I still think it was a good pick. It was Will Levis at 4.
To the Colts, right?
To the Colts. And everything that I'd seen and came up with was Will Levis was the guy. And all of a sudden, 30 minutes before the pick, here we go with this Anthony Richardson bull crap because he can throw it 5,000 yards. Who gives a shit how far he can throw it?
And they've already named him the starting quarterback.
He's not.
I mean, like 2 days ago, he's got the gig already.
Yeah, but that's not the head coach doing it. The head coach wouldn't do that. That's
I can imagine
that's the owner going in there and throwing his keys on the table and saying, this is what's going to happen.
So, hey,
because I've screwed this up.
we got to have this.
What is wrong with that guy? I don't know who the owner is.
Jim Irsay, right?
Is Irsay? Yeah, he's terrible. He went out and brought in the guy, the old offensive tackle, to try to get him through the year, and he was awful.
Oh, that was Jeff Saturday.
Yeah. What a joke. A few other things I want to touch on.
Oh, before you move on, I'm glad you brought up over-under because I want to make a point about the over-unders for this year. And Vegas is going to do their part to make sure they get it right going, but they may be missing on it early in the year. Of course, those places were built with straight cash, homie, so I'm sure they already know. But just watch the lines, and if they seem like if the over-under seem like they were elevated like they were last year, be careful because college football made a change to the way they keep the time, and it's going more to NFL style.
No.
So you're not going to be able to score as much because the clock's going to run more. Basically, it's not going to be stopped all the time like it was, and the rest of the college football history.
I've seen some of them clock managers win a game before.
Yeah. So anyway, so I mean, but just watch them. Anything that gets up in the high 60s, I'd be leery of that because I just don't think they're going to have the time. No. Not that some of these teams can't still score. I just that over under, especially early in the year, if it's 65 plus,
it's a big number.
I'm probably going to be leaning to that under for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just watch your tendencies and and how things start out. One thing I also talked about too is when you're betting, it's all about ego. A lot of guys who were athletes or whatever, they start betting or whatever, and the thing is, you hate to lose. You don't like to lose.
Nobody does.
So especially freaking money. And they have it's like a medical term for it, the somebody who just chases money.
Yeah. So
you got to be better than that, and I'm telling you this because I can't do it either.
It's not.
I'm telling you to it, but I'm still trying to figure it out by now. So something called
from experience, huh?
Something called fallacy. Look it up. That's what it's called. So if you think there's something wrong with you, no, it's everybody. Nobody likes to lose. So how do you beat it? What do you do? I mean, the only thing I can think of is like the Rocky movie. Is the way he beat the Russian. He just chopped him down a little bit at a time.
A little bit at a time.
And that's what it is when you see that minus 125 or minus 110 or minus 130 and you put your $100 on it or whatever, and it doesn't give you even money, your ego goes, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest, and that's how they get you. I mean, it really is, and that's when you end up with 18 $5 parlays. Because you want to make that $5 into $200, but they're just going to be getting that $5.
That's right.
So
over and over and over again.
Yeah. So before you get into that and you start betting and you lose and you get pissed off about it, you're not alone. But
go talk to a friend.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, man. You got another chip, you got another chair. You just gotta get back in there and get your money back. It's a marathon.
You wanna get into a sport. Of course, we've talked about it plenty, but you want to get into one that will teach you, that will make you learn. Get yourself in the horse race betting.
Yeah.
It'll calm you down real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of folks are intimidated by betting or whatever, and I get that 100%. Keep your money, don't do it. But this is something we choose to do because we enjoy it. That's kind of our hobby, and bills are paid. So
that's right. That's right.
What do you do? That's really about it. I mean, I got examples of stuff of kind of building parlays or whatever. Work through your bets also. Don't just stick to one side. Don't just go against the spread. Add totals and props and stuff like that. You can do so much that you couldn't do 10 years ago. And hopefully, we saw some news today. Mississippi.
Oh, yeah.
Starting to teeter around with the online gambling. Boy.
Creating a task force. So.
Yeah, I think they're gonna put it to the on the floor and see if they can do. Hopefully, I think it's House. What is it? Bill 606 or something. I saw.
Yeah.
So keep your ears open. That maybe 1st of January. Do a little illegal online gambling. The state will make a ton of money. So, anyways, that's kind of what I can go over that, and then. Use your stuff. Use Vegas Insider, Action Network, ESPN. Get on Twitter. Follow these schools. Get their practice reports and stuff like that. It's this information you won't have available to you and it will help you work through some of these games too. So
How about Les Miles? Basically, not Les Miles. God, I thought of LSU and all of Les Miles came to. Goodness gracious. What's the guy?
Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly. Goodness gracious, it's my brain. How about Brian Kelly saying that LSU is going to basically go to the NFL model for injuries? Like they're going to talk about them. They're going to let you know if guys are questionable, if they're doubtful. And you'll get a report during the week, and you'll get one on Saturday. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, he's one that gets it. He knows what kind of helps drive this sport is people like us, gamblers.
He gets it all right. My biggest pet peeve in in college football is that the referees are not held accountable for any kind of questioning after the game.
None.
They don't get questioned. They don't get nothing happens. You can't find out where they're going to be. I mean, if you have a referee whose tendency is to call holding, but you don't know where he's going to be until the TV comes on.
Then you're like, oh, he's in my game. Great. And I just laid 200 on the over. And now here this guy is. We're going to be 1st and 20 all night long.
Yeah. So if you guys out there that listen to this, or you stumble across this podcast and you know of somewhere we can find that information, let us know, because that would be very valuable to me anyway.
I think college football fans are just we're so crazy. It's just so fanatic. I mean, that's where fan comes from, fanatic. So you probably just have too many people getting all up in these, stalking them, following them.
You know what? I don't care.
You don't care?
No,
hey, that's your job, man.
No,
Do good. Do better.
Go look up their salaries, and most of them are already doctors or lawyers anyway. They're not. I mean, they're getting paid.
They do get paid.
The most you could ask for that they be accountable.
Yeah, you would think the conference that brings them in would at least say, "Hey, this," but they won't even say anything.
Well, they'll say,
comment.
Well, look,
it may have been a bad call. Maybe
we handled it inside the house or whatever. We gave him a firm tongue lashing. You don't worry about it.
They ain't said nothing to him. Guaranteed.
Screw you. Y'all counted your money. We know what you did. Anyways.
All right, so you want to actually get into the show, what the show's supposed to be about?
Sure.
All right, so like we said, we're gonna preview the Power 5 conferences. Like I said, we did this last year. We try to build it around teams we like as far as betting wise, because this is a betting show. So we'll talk about that. We will just talk about a few things that are team specific, things like that. But try to keep it about how we bet or why we'll bet certain teams or not bet certain teams. And then we'll also make some picks about who we think will surprise or be a disappointment or win the conference. We'll make that pick towards the end of each conference preview. So let's get started.
Where we're starting at?
Paul, we're going to start with the Big 12.
Gotcha.
And props to the Big 12 commissioner. That guy, he saved that conference. When you compare to what he's done to what the guy at the Pac-12 has done, it's night and day. The Big 12 knew they were going to be in trouble when Texas and Oklahoma were leaving. That guy went to work last year. He got 4 new teams.
Yep.
They've positioned themselves to be the 3rd best conference out there, with the ACC probably looking like they're going to have to do something. They've just been sitting on their hands because they got that long grant of rights deal that they think's going to save that conference. But boy, Pac-12 says hello.
Yeah, and goodbye.
And goodbye. All right, yeah, so let's get to the Big 12. With new teams in the Big 12 this year, you got BYU, Cincinnati, Central Florida, and Houston. What do you think is going to happen between the 4 new teams? Who's going to have a shot to make any noise in their new Big 12 conference?
I don't think any of them got a chance. The only team I really like there is UCF.
Yeah, I like the Knights.
Yeah. Malzahn is a great football coach. A lot of folks don't like him, but he gets the most out of any team he's playing with. He can coach with anybody in this league. He just may not have the money.
True.
But I like UCF. That's actually one of my teams. I want to talk about here in a little bit. But if you don't mind, you want to go over the odds to win the conference? I had that pulled up.
You got it? Yeah. Let's talk about it.
All right. So Texas Tech. Let's start at Texas. Texas is the favorite at -102. So basically even money for Texas. Oklahoma's +362, which is over 3.5 to 1. K-State's 5-1. Texas Tech's 10-1. TCU is 17-1, a little over. Baylor's 18-1. Your Kansas Jayhawks are 32, a little over 32-1. UCF's 32-1. Oklahoma State's 32-1. Iowa State's 53-1. BYU 80-1. Cincinnati 86-1. West Virginia 94-1, and then Houston is 122-1.
Ooh, boy.
So you got a big favorite in the Texas Longhorns, which has yet to be able to get it done. So I don't know where all that love's coming from. But
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to talk about them here in a minute.
Yeah, so few things. I don't see TCU making another run this year. I think they've probably lost too much. And one of the biggest, of course, they lose the quarterback, and then, boy, that big wide receiver, Quinston Johnson, I believe, maybe.
Johnson.
Whew, that boy could go up and get it any time.
Well,
and
the guy they got playing quarterback was actually the starter last year. But we don't know what he is. He may be just
didn't
as good.
see him enough.
We don't know. I mean, for them to recreate what they did last year, I just don't see it happening. So,
okay.
My surprise team is going to be, if you want to go back and forth, the UCF, Central Florida.
Okay.
Same thing I said a while ago. Malzahn's just a great coach. He's been waiting on this opportunity to get back to big-time football. You know, he's been down there just hanging around. John Rice Plumlee has learned how to throw the forward pass, believe it or not. He ain't even got to really throw it great. If he can complete 65% of his passes, look out.
Yeah.
I think they'll make some noise. I'm not saying they're going to go out there and win this thing, but I feel like they'll be one of the teams that you notice making a lot of improvement.
Yeah, so my surprise team, and it may feel weird to say surprise because talking about a bowl team. Of course, UCF was last year, so I see where we're going here. I'm going to take the Texas Tech Red Raiders as my surprise team this year. I think they're going to have a big year. They showed a lot of signs early last year and then got it going at the end. They had the big bowl win over Ole Miss. I think that was 40-something to 20-something, so a big blowout win for the Texas Tech Red Raiders to end the season, to take that momentum into the offseason. So Tyler Shaw. Yeah,
Tyler Shaw. Yeah.
Returns at QB, and the wide receiver, Jaron Bradley, should be one of the top wide receivers in the Big 12. They need a little bit improvement on the O-line, but, they probably brought in some transfers, I'd imagine, and maybe they were young last year. And the defense takes a step. I don't hate their schedule. They get Oregon early, second week, so we'll kind of know there. But then it's pretty simple. Other than they get Kansas State at home, so and TCU at home. The only tough road game they have, seriously, is their final game of the year at number 11 Texas. So that's kind of why I like the Red Raiders. The schedule sets up well. They got their biggest games are at home, except for the Longhorns. So I think they could go out there and have maybe an 8-9 win season, or maybe 10. There's a possibility there because Houston's not going to be very good. I think Neil Brown at West Virginia is probably on the hot seat. I don't think I think Baylor's regressing. I think they can get BYU even though they got to go to Provo. I think there's opportunity there. So I'll be watching the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Yeah, they were my team to suck last year.
And
they far outplayed my expectations of them. So the guy at Texas Tech's a way better coach than I gave him credit for.
Yep. So look forward to watching the Red Raiders.
The Brent Pryor. No, that's the guy at Virginia Tech. Anyways. Moving on to my disappointing team, and I enjoy this because I don't really care too much for this guy. Oklahoma State, new defensive coordinator, which ain't gonna matter. They can't play defense no kind of way.
Well, they used to.
Nah, no talent. No, they ain't worth the shit. They ain't got nothing. They're rebuilding. No, it's just gonna be a long year for Mike Gundy and the mullet. I just don't. There's nothing there. I didn't put a whole lot into this disappointment. It's just I like to see Mike Gundy mad.
Yeah, so, Paul, my disappointment, I could go several ways here, but I'm going with Oklahoma State. Got it right there on the – that's kind of odd. So that's doomed to fail. Obviously, they're going to have a 10-3 season.
What were the odds on them to win the conference?
I don't know, but you better go book it now that we both think they're going to be a disappointment. Yeah, there just seems to be a lot of turmoil going on there. And the biggest thing that tipped me off is Spencer Sanders leaves Oklahoma State, where he had over 40-something starts in the Big 12. He was their starting quarterback last year. He transfers to Ole Miss, and he's not even going to win the starting job at Ole Miss, and he had the job at Oklahoma State. I don't know what's going on there with Gundy and the boys. It doesn't smell right. The schedule is not difficult, but with everything going on there, I don't think there's going to be a lot of buy-in this year. And so, yeah, I have them disappointing in the 2023 college football season.
For some reason, Caesars is the site that we use, the book we use mainly to bet on. It's got them 28-1, but you can go to Bet Rivers, which is the beauty of online gambling, 65-1. So
they got a feeling about them.
Yeah. So I just don't. Like I said, I did a lot of reading. I just didn't write a whole lot of it down. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you want to talk about some other teams before we make our conference championship pick? Just anything you got on anybody?
I mean, I'm not going to sleep on Kansas State. I mean, they won the conference last year. They got a great coach. Sonny Dykes is back with the same guy. If he can do anything, but I don't think that team's going to. TCU, they may win 8 games, but they're not going to go on a run they went on last year. Kansas, I mean, I love watching Kansas play football. I love their quarterback.
Yeah, Jalen Daniels is back healthy, so yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Kansas play.
I love BYU just because I like to call them the Storming Mormons. They got like 27, 32-year-olds on that team. So.
Yeah, grown-ass men play for the Cougars.
No, not really. I mean, like I said, Oklahoma.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad you. Yeah. I mean, look, I mentioned this last year, and I'm going to say it again. I don't believe in Oklahoma because I don't believe that Brent Venables is head coach material. I don't think he's got anything going there. Dylan Gabriel does return for his 10th years of college football quarterback.
He's been around.
So they weren't good last year. I don't know. And they lost their top receiver in Marvin Mims as well. I don't know what could be other than the name on the jersey. It's literally the only thing that's keeping them propped up. They were one of the most disappointing teams in the Big 12 last year, and so I could have put them as a disappointment this year, but again, I went with Oklahoma State. But sticking in the same state, boy, football it ain't. I don't think it's going to happen there in Oklahoma.
A lot of grass and shitty football in Oklahoma.
Yeah. A long way from where we used to be.
So and
I had the Jayhawks here. You already brought them up. Jalen Daniels returns healthy, so they should be good to go. The offense is completely stacked. They just need a little defensive help. I don't know if they're going to –
little helping.
Yeah, little helping over there. Somebody call Houston Nutt.
He can dial up a defense for you.
So, all right. So, that's again, so we're not trying to make this too intense. We're not your sports talks, ESPN guys, but that's kind of where we are. So, let's make our conference championship picks.
Okay, dokie. I got Texas. I literally got it right here. If not now, for fuck's sakes, when is it going to be?
Is that what you wrote down?
I know, it's right there. I know I'm not supposed to drop the F-bomb, but it's in the context of my notes. And
you're just reading.
Yeah,
right?
I'm just reading the book here. 2-5 in one-score games last year is not good. I don't care. You got all the talent in the world. Your coach is if the players keep you in the game, your coach is supposed to find a way to win the game. That is, since I've known anything about football, that and if it touches your hand, you're supposed to catch it.
Yeah.
So if you're 2-5 in one-score games, that points directly and squarely at Steve Sarkisian, in my opinion.
Sounds like it.
They're the coolest kid in the damn conference. They got the car, they got the nice hair, the girlfriend's prettier than everybody else's, but they can't win football games.
They're all dating the head cheerleader, captain of the cheer squad.
Yeah. So 22-0 when running for over 205 yards. Run the ball. 22-0.
They got Quinn Ewers though, Paul.
22-0.
Speaking of, I was sitting on the couch watching college football preview before I came over here, and they on the screen came up Heisman Trophy winning odds.
All right.
The third best odds on the board was Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. All right.
You know who had longer odds that I love much better than him? Our guy Jordan Travis down there at Florida State.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's literally because he's got the Longhorn on his chest. I mean, I think he's a decent quarterback, but come on, man, the third lowest odds to win the Heisman?
He's
He's
already a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, yeah, took all that money from Ohio State and then left and came back to Texas.
91st in pass defense in the country last year. That's got to get better. You got too much money and too many coaches over there not to know how to defend the pass. They got coordinators after coordinators. They got coordinator, special coordinator, assistant coordinator. That's just shit. That's just destined to be screwed up. It's never going to work. Name a guy and run with it. But as I started this, if they can't do it this year, when in the heck are they going to do it?
Well, they're not going to do it ever again because they're going to the SEC.
Yeah, well, they're not going to do it there. I don't care what Manning they got playing for them.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it right there. That's my last statement on them is the move to the SEC will be comical.
Absolutely. For them and Oklahoma. I mean, my goodness.
It's going to be a hoot.
Especially if Oklahoma still has Brent Venables. They're going to eat him up and spit him out. I mean, it's going to be bad. Yeah, so I don't have Texas as winning the conference. I just don't trust the team. They went 8-5 last year. They had 5 losses last year. And you're going to tell me they're turn around and win it? I mean, I get it. They get their quarterback back, and maybe he was playing hurt last year. But I don't know. Like Paul said, unless they stick to the run game. But you know Sark's not going to do that. And that defense was bad. I mean, it was not good. So I know there's a lot of hype. I'm just not buying into it. So I'm going to go. You know, it's crazy because I guess it's other than the SEC, there's not always a lot of teams that win it back to back to back. But I got the Kansas State Wildcats winning.
Going
back to back. Most of it is buy-in what that guy's doing over there. I mean, in Manhattan, Kansas.
Really good football coach.
He is, and Chris Kleiman has done a wonderful job there. They've got culture on top of culture. When you go there, you know what's expected of you, and you come in as a player, and you're told this is how we do it, and those guys all buy in. And it's working. I know Deuce Vaughn is gone, and he's over there with the Dallas Cowboys, I believe.
Yep.
Scored a touchdown in his first preseason game.
Really, really good.
Congratulations to Chris Kleiman.
The guy that they've got playing quarterback this year, I think, played in the Big 12
Will
championship.
Howard. He's a rising star. And then they've got preseason All-American lineman Cooper Beebe to keep him upright. So, and a strong defense, most likely coming back. So give me the Kansas State Wildcats because I don't believe in Texas, and the only other team that may could get them was last year TCU, and this ain't last year's TCU. So I'm going to go with Kansas State.
I like it.
All right.
Maybe we get a little, I don't know. I like watching Kansas play. I should have picked Kansas.
I wonder what their over-under is this year. You know, I hit that last year. It was like 3. And I think they started 6-0, so I hit early.
I got an over-under I love this year, but it's not in this conference.
Oh, okay. All right. So you want to move over to the East Coast?
Yeah, ACC.
All right, ACC. I got a lot on the ACC. I say a lot. I mean, I don't know. I don't have to read it all.
Good.
But you don't have much on the ACC.
I'll sit over here and look pretty.
So before we get to our surprise disappointment of conference champs, you want to talk about some teams that we don't have listed in those areas? That's kind of the way I built mine here.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Okay.
Let's go look at the odds. We want to do that real quick?
Yep. Conference championship odds, right?
Yes, sir.
Conference winner odds.
Yeah, conference, not natty. Clemson's your favorite at plus 145. Florida State is second at plus 155. So that pretty much, it's going to be a 2-horse race here, it looks like, according to the Louis the Lips of the world. Louisville, 10-1 is the team. That's my surprise team, but that helps me because they're the third favorite. UNC is 10-1. Pittsburgh is 17-1. I don't understand that. NC State, 20-1. Miami of Florida, 20-1. I don't know why I can't say that. Duke, 40-1. Wake Forest, 50-1. Wake Forest.
Yeah. It's going to be bad.
Syracuse 75-1, Tech 95-1, Boston College 150-1, Georgia Tech 200-1, Virginia 200-1.
So Virginia, huh?
I think Virginia may be the worst team in college football.
I think they might be. You know, it's sad. That's one I missed on real bad. You know, last year we did the ACC. I said, watch out for Virginia. I think they may have something there. Whoo, that was ugly.
I listened to somebody talk doing a preview show, whatever, just kind of going through things, and they were talking about their roster is not like it should be to be a D1 school. But anyways, what do I know?
What do you know? Yeah. So first team you mentioned, that's one team I got on my list right here, the Louisville Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff Brom, new head coach down there in over there in Kentucky, right? Down there, that's above us. Jeff Brom takes over for the Cardinals, and I think this team comes to life. The last time he took over a program was Purdue, and in his first year with Purdue, he made it happen. So I think he makes it happen again in his first season as a new head coach, even though he's anyway, you get what I'm saying. This is the second time he's been a first-year head new program. So anyway, he hit the portal hard. He went out and got QB Jack Plummer, Purdue tackle Eric Miller. UC, now is that from Connecticut? They went and stole somebody. How dare you steal somebody?
Leave Connecticut
Come
alone.
on. Unless I meant to put you. No, that's wrong. It's supposed to be an N. They went and got the Tar Heels corner Storm Duck. Yeah, I knew that name.
How do we miss that name?
Yeah, stole Storm Duck from the Tar Heels. So I love everything they got going over there. They got the starring running back Jawar Jordan, all conference center Brian Hudson. So they were decent last year, and I think they have a really good schedule it sets up for them.
Yeah, basically I got them too as my surprise team. Brian, I got Brian Brom down here for some reason. That's his brother. Jeff Brom's a coach.
Looking for Jeff.
Taking over. I got pretty much the same notes you had. The only thing I got is they don't play Clemson, Florida State, or UNC.
Right. That's
the title game.
Incredible.
Winning 8 or 9 games is a good year for this team. So I'm going to go like you, Louisville. So congratulations to everybody else but Louisville.
Yeah. As Louisville rolls out a 4-9 season.
It's uncanny. I'll text Franklin on a Wednesday or a Thursday or probably Tuesday when the lines come out. But like, dude, I like this game. He's like, I like it too. I was going to get in like, we immediately toss it.
Yeah, just don't even bet it. Don't
speak of it again. It's gonna. So anyway.
Goodness.
All right, go ahead.
So a few other teams. I got. I just wrote a little something about NC State. I know Dorn is a solid coach. I'm just not in love with the QB. They went and got former quarterback Brennan Armstrong from Virginia.
Well, no good at Virginia.
So I know, and not only that, they went and got Armstrong's 2021 offensive coordinator Robert. I guess it's Anae, maybe. It's Anae. I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name. So they were together in 2021, and Armstrong was pretty good, but he was not good last year. Defense has been good, but I don't see a lot for NC State this year. They had their chance last year, and they couldn't get it done, and their quarterback transferred out. He went to Kentucky, so I don't think there's going to be a lot happening for the NC State Wolfpack this year.
Yeah, that Florida State team intrigues me. I like them. I like what they have going. I liked them last year. They won a little money for me week 1 last year, beating LS who?
I like Jordan Harris pushing Caleb Williams for the Heisman.
Jordan Travis.
Travis.
No. Yeah, I also love Duke just because they're Duke. They outplayed their roster last year. Guy did a great job. Wake Forest is going to take a step back just because, I mean, you can't lose what they've lost and expect to be worth a mess.
That's right.
I don't know what happened to Boston College. They used to be relevant.
It's not good. Boston.
Georgia Tech, they're still trying to recover from the triple option days.
Yeah, I got Tar Heels here because I love Drake May. I think he's a great quarterback. Of course, he loses his offensive coordinator, so we'll see what he can do with Chip Lindsey. As Chip Lindsey now comes in and takes over.
Did he lose an offensive coordinator, though? Or did he?
Did he gain one?
Yeah,
And Chip Lindsey.
I think he gained one.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I feel Longo's pretty good for the Tar Heels. It was not great for the Ole Miss Rebels. That's true.
Well, they had a real head coach that would like look at him and go run it a couple times.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we didn't have that guy. We didn't have somebody to tell him to do something different. Tar Heels, they had a blow to their offense when wide receiver Devontae Walker got his waiver to play right away denied. So he's not going to be able to suit it up for the Tar Heels, so that kind of hurts Drake May there. The defense was 105th last year, so I just don't see a lot for the Tar Heels. They had a lot going, but Drake May will be fun to watch. He will be able to put up points, so I like to watch good quarterback play. Down in Miami, Mario Cristobal has been heralded as, a great recruiter and team builder, but there's been so much talk about his game day decisions are not great, and kind of showed its head last year down in Miami. They were not very good, so I don't see much happening with the Hurricanes this year either.
Yeah, there's a lot of money put in that program to try to get it back right, and I just don't know if he's the guy that can do it. So.
And I can't talk about the ACC without talking about Clemson. Garrett Riley comes over as offensive coordinator.
I like it.
Then his brother is Lincoln Riley. Is that his brother?
That's correct.
Head coach over there at the USC.
Yeah, Garrett was the offensive coordinator at TCU last
That's
year.
right. Yeah, he leaves TCU, comes to Clemson. I don't know if he's going to be able to turn this sophomore kid, Cade Klubnik, into the next great Tiger QB.
He's going to be awesome.
Okay, whatever you say.
He's going to – I got them. They may win the national title.
Oh, my God. They got some returning wide receivers, and they're young. They do have stuff. They're probably going to lean on running back Will Shipley early and often. And O-line is seasoned, so they got a good offensive line. The defense dropped from 1st to 25th in the S&P Plus last year.
Well, that's because they were depressed.
Is that what it was? Because Ukulele couldn't get it done.
You know what? They could get a turnover on a 2-yard line and then miss a field goal.
All right. Well, there's plenty of talent there, and they could probably get back top 15, top 10 probably on defense. So, yeah, Clemson obviously is going to be a really good team.
Yeah, so that's my pick for the conference titles, Clemson. I think they get back to the playoff this year. I'm thinking about putting a little money on them to make the playoffs. 16-1 to win the Natty. I may say something at that too. It's the most talented team in the country. They finally got rid of Ukulele. They said they not only did they get rid of him, they put him on the other side of the country.
And you go to Oregon State.
They couldn't take him farther away.
Get as far away as you can.
Yeah, so I think this team gets back to what they were. Dominant defense. Good running game. They still got the run back.
Will Shipley.
Yeah. I think he's I got them to win. My team to fade this year is
the Cavaliers.
They went out there, okay, they lost their quarterback, so they had to go get somebody, right?
Yeah.
So they went to Monmouth. got their quarterback. They play. I got them winning one game this year, and they play William and Mary, and they better.
It may be touch and go.
They better hope they don't play them on homecoming or something like that, because they open up Tennessee, James Madison back to back. I don't know what that spread is on either one of them games, but if it's under 50, probably take it. James Madison gonna beat the shit out of them.
They're really, I think they still again this year cannot play for their conference title. They couldn't last year, and I think I read they can't this year either. That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
James Madison's been fun since they moved up to D1.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Or FBS.
I hope I'm wrong about the Virginia team and Tony Elliott and those guys, but there's nothing about that roster or. Man, I like to go watch spring game, and I know it don't mean nothing, but I want to see what's going on.
Oh, good Lord! They start with Tennessee.
No, it's Tennessee, James Madison.
What a brutal start for the Cavaliers!
And it doesn't get any easier.
And I guarantee you that William and Mary game is Virginia's homecoming. They may lose on their homecoming.
It's what game are they going to win other than William?
They're not beating Maryland. They're not beating NC State. They could maybe have a dogfight with Boston College, win 10-7.
It's at Boston College. They won't be favored.
They got to go to North Carolina, to Miami. Maybe they get Georgia Tech when they get Georgia Tech to come to their house.
I see one game. I don't know what the season team total is, but if it's over 2, I'd take the
Go,
under.
go take the under. All right, so I'll get to my other team. So my surprise team is going to be the Duke Blue Devils. Now, I'm not basing this on wins and losses from last year because I know Duke was pretty good. And they got to play Clemson, Florida State, Notre Dame, NC State, and North Carolina. And so it's a much harder schedule. But again, I'm not basing my surprise team on wins and losses. It's what I think they can do in the game. So I think they could be a team to look at for as far as spreads go, because those spreads may be, over embellished. They're getting 14 points against Clemson or Florida State or more, especially against Clemson, Florida State, or Notre Dame. If they're getting 17, 18 points,
Yeah.
I don't hate giving me those points when you got star Riley Leonard slinging it over there for the Blue Devils. And I love Mike Elko. He's a great coach.
I
So
like Duke. I do.
offensive coordinator Kevin Johns was great, and he's gonna, he's back, and he's got his quarterback there. And of course, Mike Elko knows what to do on defense, as he showed it last year. So I'm gonna be watching Duke.
Like it.
My disappointing team, and I think Paul may have just had Virginia as his because he doesn't like them at all. But I got, as far as disappointing, I got Wake Forest because they're losing Sam Hartman to Notre Dame. And the Deeks have been fun, but I think Sam Hartman has been the reason why. And he's just been putting them on his back a few times, and he's not going to be there. So I see a lot of regression coming from the Demon Deacons this year.
Yeah, I'm with you there. That's a better known team than my Virginia Cavaliers pick, but yeah, they're not going to be. I don't know how they recover from losing Hartman.
Yeah, just too
guy's
much.
Great.
All right, conference champ. I'm going to go with the Florida State Seminoles, Paul.
Nah, give me Clemson.
Florida State. I love, again, I've already mentioned his name twice. I love Jordan Travis there. They were really good last year. They showed it. They improved every week. He finished with the third highest QBR in college football last year. So the kid can play. He can really ball. And in the way he gets away, he can scramble, he can move around. But he finds the open guy. He doesn't scramble just to take off.
Yeah, they still got that guy. I think his name's Jimmy Wilson or something Wilson. He's 6'7" or 8", playing wide out.
Oh, that is
that guy's
big
really,
boy.
really good.
Yeah, they brought on some big names in the transfer portal. And two of those additions, they're going to defensive tackle Braden Fisk and defensive end Gilbert Edmond. They're going to need those guys to produce right away because Florida State was horrific against the run last year. But they were great against the pass. But teams didn't throw against them because they didn't have to. They could just run it on them, and that's why some of their games would be shootouts. So I look for them to shore up that run defense a little bit. And, of course, we're going to know early because they face off like the fourth week. Florida State and Clemson play like the fourth or fifth game of the season for Florida State.
Yeah, I think Clemson gets back their ship back righted the ship.
So, and that's at Clemson. So that kind of swings the pendulum in their favor, in Clemson's favor, obviously. Florida State's schedule is cake outside of that, and their first game of the year, LSU. But that first game, even if they lose it, it doesn't affect their ACC standing. So that's why I'm taking the Florida State Seminoles. If they can get by Clemson, they'll win it.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I'm just not on them.
I know you got Clemson winning the whole damn thing, national title, everything.
I'll sprinkle a little. They'll probably lose 5 games, but whatever.
Lose 5 guys. I doubt they lose 5 games.
I hope not.
I mean, I obviously I think Klubnik's going to be better than DJ Ugel, whatever his name is.
Look, I understand. Are you done with the conference stuff?
Yeah, I mean that's it. That's all I got on the ACC.
I'm gonna bring this up real quick. I know we talked about doing this maybe at a later day. I was gonna bring. We got one guy we're gonna talk about forever, but the Marvin Harrison Jr. wide out of Ohio State's 45-1 to win a Heisman.
Best player in college football, in my opinion.
45-1, and I know that this always goes to a quarterback, but if he I don't know. I guess they just think because he's got a new quarterback or whatever, but 45-1 is a big number.
I think he's the best player in college football.
Are they going to shut him down and get him ready for the
No,
combine?
and I think you're going to see it this year. This is the only way that a wide receiver can. He was awesome last year. I mean, he said, well, he had C.J. Stroud. Well, and he gets a new quarterback this year, and he goes out and he balls out again. it's just so hard for. I mean, when's the last time we had was it Jameson Williams? No, Devontae Smith.
Yeah, Smith.
Devontae Smith. You'll have to have a Devontae Smith. Of course, there wasn't that many great quarterbacks that year when Devontae Smith went. He's going to need quarterbacks to not do well, and he's going to put up one hell of a season. But, yeah, I love Marvin Harrison Jr. He's incredible.
That's a big number. I might, you look, a lot of folks don't like doing future bets or whatever, but sometimes if you throw $25 or $50 on it and you forget about it, and all of a sudden, like a certain baseball team I know, gets hot and makes a run, then you're sitting there with a big ticket, and who knows? Caleb Williams, they could if USC loses 2 or 3 games, they'll shut Caleb Williams down. Drake May, I don't know. We'll have to see there. Bo Nix ain't winning the damn Heisman.
I was surprised to see his name so far up there.
Michael Penix Jr.'s one though.
I love that name.
Oh yeah, if that team goes 10-1, 11-1, something like that. Quinn Ewers, no, I don't think he wins the Heisman. Brock Vandagriff, no. Sam Hartman's another name I like, but I just don't know if Notre Dame's ready to take that.
Is Brock even going to win the Georgia QB job? They haven't announced a QB, have they?
I don't know why he's on there.
Because he plays at Georgia.
It's ridiculous. Oh, I mean, it's ridiculous. They got this Vandagriff guy from Georgia over Sam Hartman and Cade Klubnik and Jaden Daniels and Joe Milton and Drew Aller. What?
Jeff Sims is on that list.
Ain't nobody from ain't a quarterback. Ain't a quarterback from Nebraska. Well, it goes to show you how ridiculous it is. He's 45-1, just like Marvin Harrison Jr. What are we doing?
Goodness gracious!
I don't like it.
I don't know who makes those things. I think sometimes they do it just because they know none of those people are going to win it. So they just put random people on there just to get people like us laughing.
Well, they definitely got me. Because that's some silly stuff.
Oh man,
Blake Corum's another one, 50-1.
Blake Corum, yeah, I mean he's one of the top 3 running backs at him. So the top 3 running backs are Blake Corum, Raheem Rocket Sanders from Arkansas, and Quinshon Judkins.
Yep, 80-1 for Quinshon.
80-1.
Will Shipley, 80-1. Here goes this Vandagriff guy.
He's still there?
Get out of there. I'm not looking anymore. We'll do a little more on Heisman stuff after one of these shows we got time to fiddle with. Because me and Franklin are going to have a huge argument.
I'm sure we are. So, we'll do another show that has 2. We'll knock out the Pac-12 or the Pac-4, whatever you want to call them. That conference and the Big Ten, we'll put them in together, and then we'll come back with a show just for the SEC, since that's where we live, and most people that watch us are dialed in the SEC. They're all probably fans of a certain team in the state of Mississippi. So we'll do one show dedicated to the SEC, and I doubt we do a show prior to week 0 for the betting purposes, but we might. Just depends on time. I'm headed to Biloxi next week, so we're going to get the next 2 podcasts knocked out between now and next Tuesday, and then that'll be it. Then football's here, baby.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready for it to cool off.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's time to get under the pool house, turn all the TVs on, and I start asking you, all right, who you need on TV 1? No. Well, we got on 2. Who's playing at 11 that week?
Where's the controller?
Yeah. Elvis is walking away with the controller.
Who drank my beer?
Yeah. Speaking of who drank my beer, we have to get Josh's pick on his surprise NBA team. He hit with the Orlando Magic last year.
He did.
He nailed them getting the over. So congratulations to Josh on his over for the Orlando Magic. So, all right, I think that's going to do it for tonight's show. Again, we'll be back. The next show will be in the next few days, and we will touch on the Big Ten and the Pac-12 for this year. All right, so that's going to do it for us tonight. Hope you all have a wonderful night. We'll